Hey, so they announced a new Witcher game, and I think this is a really fun opportunity to talk about this stuff because it just so happens your boy just recently replayed The Witcher 3, so I'm pretty hot on this stuff, and I think this is pretty fun to hash out. So the official announcement now from a developer-publisher, CD Projekt Red, is that there is a new installment in the Witcher series coming. They use the phrase, a new saga, with a teaser image that you see here, and that's really it. They've also confirmed that it is going to be running on Unreal Engine 5, which is pretty cool. It's not using their proprietary Red engine that they've used for games like Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3. Along with that, on social media, they've also said that it isn't going to be like an exclusive to one storefront or anything like that, and really, with the news, that's all we have. Now, we've known CD Projekt Red has been cooking up a new Witcher thing. They've said in the past, like, hey, we're going to keep making Witcher games. But here now is it officially seemingly being a real tangible announcement with a teaser image and everything. Now, I still think this is definitely a ways off, so we're not going to talk about release date or anything crazy like that. But there is a lot of fun stuff to talk about or really kind of speculate about here. Specifically because it's a new saga and really it could go anywhere or be anything. They have also said that it is not technically going to be called The Witcher 4. This is going off of their new saga thing. So I think that leads to a lot. But first things first, the thing I really want from this new Witcher game is for them to just stop announcing games so early. I get why they do it. It's definitely like a business thing, a hype thing. But every once in a while, when a game is just announced and then released, it's so much more refreshing than a years and years lead up. Granted, for me, it is fun because I like kind of speculating and talking about this stuff, but still, I think what they're doing here is more along the lines of something like a Bethesda with Elder Scrolls, where they're like, we're making it, leave us alone. But I do think that from what it seems like what CD Projekt Red has said in the past, and now they are working on this game now, like this is probably going to be their next thing after more Cyberpunk support, hopefully. Now, of course, the real big thing on everybody's mind, what's the deal? Who are you playing as? What is this going to be? And I think there's a lot to dive into here, and it might not be as straightforward as some people think. Geralt is probably out. Let's be real. And that's hard because Geralt is so cool. Like, he's awesome. But the way things wrapped up, depending on the ending you got, still overall, it seemed like The Witcher 3 was a good kind of fitting end to Geralt's whole thing that at least CD Projekt Red set up. Now, I do think that they are going to continue what they've been doing here, building out a basically whole new Witcher thing outside of the books, past the timeline of the books, and that totally works. And obviously with that is adult Ciri. That really kind of seems like the logical step here. Now, there is speculation with the whole Witcher medallion in the snow thing, where a lot of people think it's like a cat. And actually, in case you missed it, CD Projekt Red did confirm to Eurogamer that it isn't the cat school. It's like a new thing, the School of the Lynx. So really, keep in mind, that can mean anything. So a new saga and like this medallion tease that is kind of evocative of other ones, but people can't really totally pin it down. Maybe it's a new character, a new school. I've seen a lot of people speculate it's a new Witcher school where somehow they're making more Witchers and then you get to create your own Witcher. I like that. But the other part of the whole magic of The Witcher, I think, are the characters. And I actually think Ciri is the better bet. For like, as much as I would love to create a Witcher character and go in the Witcher world, I care about the story and the lore and stuff. And with Ciri and The Witcher, it's a good way of continuing the vibe. She learned from Geralt. She basically is son of Geralt. And the best part is, too, is that I think with Ciri, like, they earned it. They spent all this time developing her, bringing her up. She brings things from the books still, so they can still dive into stuff like that, which is good. And then they can do their own thing. She's pretty badass. I think it could be interesting, and I think if there's a time jump and we go for like an older, like Geralt mentor, if we even have that, even just a little bit in the game. But if we have a Ciri that's older and even more different. Oh, the one other thing that makes me think it won't be Ciri focused is the fact that like she's pretty OP now, and maybe at this point the developers want to kind of start from scratch or try something a little different. She kind of proved to be like really an overwhelming force by the end of The Witcher 3, so who knows, man. It really could go anywhere, and again, I'm spitballing a little bit, but I think on the gameplay front, the core things I really want is, first of all, a better horse. Oh my God, like replaying that game, Roach is terrible, like no matter what. I'm sorry, Roach, you seem like a nice guy or girl or whatever, horse, but man, oh man. The other thing I would like to see the game embrace is more swordsmen gameplay, more emphasis on the actual sword play. Now, some people like bitch about the Witcher 3 combat. I really like it, but I understand where it can get even better, and I would like them to embrace the whole thing where, again, I'm going back to Geralt, but Geralt in the books was described as kind of like a dancer, a master swordsman who was just incredible, and the show kind of plays around with that and shows that off a little bit. I would really like the actual gameplay to like really hone in on that in some way other than just, you know, some cool animations. I don't know how they could do that. Again, like, I don't make games. I'm not sitting here telling they should do that, but yeah, that's a little thing. The other thing I'd really like them to see is go more spooky. I love the spookier, the grimier aspects of The Witcher, the whole thing, whether it be the books, the games, the show. I think there's a lot that they can do there. I love those spooky stories, and I would love for them to like kind of go all in on that and lean in on that. You know, then on the other hand, like, I'm going to get wild and say, like, I don't even technically need this to be a giant, incredible open world game. Now, to some players who may have just been accustomed to The Witcher through The Witcher 3, that might be blasphemous to some, but The Witcher 2 is so good. The Witcher 2 is, I'd say, like, almost right up there with The Witcher 3 in different ways. You know, the combat, maybe not so much, but like the story, the decisions, the Witcher-ness, the vibe, the atmosphere, the hub towns that they built is so good. And I would love for them to kind of like bring it back down to earth and ground it again. And that kind of maybe will let them hone their stories even more, hone their side stories, hone their little things that you stumble upon. Really, I think what I'm trying to say is maybe not as like insane of an open world, just because now, again, The Witcher 3 really killed it because it was a vast open world, but all of the stuff you did felt handcrafted and really purposeful and meaningful, right? So I would like them to almost double down on that, where they could really emphasize and really make sure everything that you stumble upon, every single little thing, is just incredible and thought out and adds to the overall character, vibe, and gameplay. And if that requires a little bit more of a narrower focus, that's fine. The Witcher 3 has so many incredible side quests, notable little diversions and stuff like that, and I would love for the next game to feel even more like The Last Wish with all these cool little adventures. Today, The Witcher, or Ciri, or whoever, stumbled upon this and did this, or had a conversation with a vampire, or got drunk with a boar pig man. Like, there's so many things that The Witcher 3 did have, but I feel like a new game could go way harder on it. And also, I think if they are going even further from the original books and everything that was created and everything that was built, like, you know, if Geralt's not really around, if Yen, if Triss aren't really around, and, you know, maybe even like the political landscape of the game world is changed, they could really fuck around and do whatever they want, which to me sounds like a good opportunity for, like, you know, the player, to be able to make decisions that really shape this world. But then again, I get a lot of people are still going to want the overall lore to be respected. And, you know, if they can walk a line, I want to see it. But there's a lot they could do here. Really, just go weirder, go cooler, go scarier, and go more high quality, and I'll probably be happy. Especially with it running on Unreal Engine 5, that's very interesting. Now, the Unreal Engine and game engines are tool sets. They are the tools that the developers use to craft their games. So now CD Projekt Red isn't working with something that they've built up, a proprietary thing that they've built up. Now they'll be working in Unreal, and Unreal Engine 5, the tech behind it, seems really impressive. You know, we've talked about this stuff on Game Ranks. You've seen a lot of gaming media websites just highlight how this stuff works, and it seems pretty cool. It seems like they can make some pretty insane worlds. And then, of course, there's like the armchair speculation. You know, a lot of people say Cyberpunk, you know, that was a messy launch. Maybe this will be better. And I can say, yeah, sure. But again, I don't really know how games are made, so I can only go so far into that. But The Witcher is sick and dope and tight, and I hope that it continues to be that with a new game. And definitely probably not going to talk about it anymore for a while, because I'm sure they're just going to go heads down and work on the game. Please do not overhype. Please do not overtalk this game, guys. Just do it. Just make it. But even with the valid complaints of Cyberpunk recently and stuff, I am still willing to sit and hopefully just look forward to seeing what this is. That's just me, though, yapping about The Witcher. Everybody has different levels of experience with The Witcher thing, the brand. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you want from this Witcher 4, so to speak, even if it's not technically called that. What do you think about who we're going to play as? Do you want to create your own character and explore these worlds? Do you want them to make it a completely new region and just come up with their own new shit? What do you want? Let's talk about anything Witcher, CD Projekt Red, this announcement, or really just anything. Down in the comments, I want to hear from you guys because there's a lot to hash out with this one. So I figured it would be fun to jump in. So hit me up. If you like what I'm trying to do here, just hash stuff out, talk about what I love. Clicking the like button helps me. I appreciate that. But that's it, guys. I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. Subscribe because video games. Pizza's on me.